Barrel rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno-monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Friday the 7th of the 5th, 2021. Time is just coming up to 0500 GMT, Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime North American session. Right, yesterday, Thursday the 6th, then we had a positive unopposed driver in the euro, no backdoor flows. The opposing negative flows were coming out of the pound at minus 103, out of the dollar at minus 57, and the yen was the negative rock at minus 1, activity plus or minus 161. Intra-week then, this is the most relevant because it's for Friday. From Monday the 3rd, open to about 15 minutes ago, we've got a positive opposed driver in the pound at plus 192. Front and back door flows mainly coming out of the dollar at minus 141, out of the yen at minus 84, and the euro was a positive rock at plus 33, activity plus or minus 225. So over the week then we've had pound strength driving, dollar weakness, yen weakness, and a neutral euro. Right, intraday then, Asian session to about 15 minutes ago, positive unopposed driver in the pound, plus 75, no backdoor flows. The opposing negative flows mainly coming out of the yen, minus 39, out the euro, minus 23, and out the dollar was minus 13 as the negative rock. Activity plus or minus 75. Right, what's been knocking it about? Well, today obviously we've got NFP, US non-farm payrolls. Next week, just looking over the horizon, we've got AUD retail sales on Monday. Right, so today we've had China trade balance, which was positive, exports greater than imports, commodities on the up, copper, etc. We've got the German trade balance, which is a tier 2 event as well today, and we've had New Zealand Q2 report that inflation is above expectations due to rising commodity prices. And the Bank of England forecasts the fastest growth rate in 70 years, 7.25% prediction, and likely rates likely to rise in next year. So very positive GBP. The chance they've actually said a prediction of 7.25%. It's probably nearer 10 because they never stick their neck out. Right. So let's have a look what's been happening in the FX flows and the asset classes, and then we'll make some sense of it hopefully. Our trades are about minus 400 at the moment. They come back, they were well above that yesterday and it's been swinging around quite a bit. Anyway, euro. The euro is strong except against the pound. The yen is strong except against the dollar, the euro and the pound, the majors basically. The pound is strong across the board. The Swiss is weak except against the CAD and the AUD. The CAD is weak across the board. The AUD is weak except against the CAD. The NZD is strong except against the euro and the pound, and the dollar is weak except against the AUD. So what have we got? We've got pound strength across the board, CAD weakness across the board, and take the pick in the middle. Right, so let's look at the asset classes then. Start with the dollar index. So right, US dollar index. Basically it broke, it's come back and it's now operating at about 0.3 from the floor, so it's pretty weak. gold is finally getting the message. It's sort of around there, maybe even a bit higher than that, so it's about there, and it's 0.5 from the floor, the high models. So it's still got a fair way to go, but it's actually starting to have a bit of a go. Gold on the up now. Oil's been messing about. It's come back. It's 0.33 from the high. Wall Street broke, and it's now went sideways. It's now higher. S&P double top, broke. It's tracking sideways at the moment at a higher level. Tech's been a bit of the struggled. It's broken, and it's now operating. It's come back a bit, but it's operating at 0.25 from the high. US 10-year and the bund. Right, the US 10-year basically looks like that, 0.33 from the floor. The price has come back down, yields have gone back up a little bit, and the bund is looking roughly like this. It's 0.33 from the floor also. So yields, the American yields have started to strengthen up a little bit relative to European yields. So they've sort of gone back together. The gap has closed, if you like, which will have an effect on the euro dollar. Right, copper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Went back to the second pump, went back to base camp, messed about. It's now it broke the top, and it's now steaming upwards. Right, so copper is really going, probably off the back of this China sucking in the imports. Right, so US steel, finally, US steel then, so sold off at the double top, broke, came back, and it's now nearly back up to the high, the breaking high, which is 0.1 from the high. Right, so US steel is getting the message as well. So commodities are definitely on the up. Oil is a little bit lagging, but I would expect to see oil above the recent high shortly. So given the economic backdrop of all the major economies coming back online. Right, so let's have a look. So we're, as usual, we're short the dollar against the euro, the pound and the AUD, and we're short the NZD against the euro, the pound, the CAD and the AUD. Right, so we've got NFP. We had the ADP report came in a little bit light, a little bit soft. ADP generally not very clever as a forward indicator for the NFP. But anyway, that's some information. The market is sort of in this sort of situation where it doesn't know whether to like good data or not. If the NFP comes in strong, then we'll be carrying on with this concept of good data. But then we've got this massive amount of stimulus. It's to be expected to be almost, even though we've had the pandemic. So and that doesn't necessarily translate into a stronger dollar due to the printing and the nature of the beast. Right. So basically we've got this pound starting to the noise in the pound the positive noise in the pound is starting to grow. They're hanging on to a little bit of positive noise in the NZD, but the NZD, as said, has already been cooked in these pairs, and you're starting to see a lot of positive data come out of the Eurozone as well. Germany is starting to kick in, and we've got the what we got today. We've got German trade balance. So we'll see what happens there. So generally that's the situation. Tomorrow we'll be doing the weekly review for the flows and for the data cycle, which is our version of the economic calendar. Try and catch that if you can. If not, see you Monday for the daily briefing. Thank you very much.